Hi everyone. So I would like to speak more about mental disorder. I made some videos, but now I actually just want to make a pictorial description or illustration about it. So this disorder, you can see anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar, depression. We can see things like stress. We can see things like postpartum psychosis and all that. So I said earlier in my videos that most of them are just like psychosis. They are when your mental health is actually affected, or like instead of having sound health, you're having mental illnesses. So most of part of them is depression, or disorder, schizophrenia, phobia, dementia, anxiety disorder, mood disorder, eating disorder, psychotic personality, cognitive disorder, substance related disorders. So we have things like eczema or your dementia. Actually, eczema is a part of dementia. It's when the brain is being, affected, in like causing you to have changes in your mental health. So, and I attributed these things to the substance that you actually take, mostly from your food. I attributed it to your dementia, to your psychosis. So, you see the part whereby for dementia, where the memory, the language, the mood, the behavior, even your personality is being altered. You have memory loss, you have difficulty completing familiar tasks, confusion with time and places, even getting to identify the people you know before, your thinking, your memory, the language where you speak, your behavior, and all that. So most times it's being altered and all that. So sometimes you can even experience things like delirium in dementia. Like I actually mentioned this earlier too. So with common phobias too can be funny sometimes because you get to be scared of anything and different things like water, bathing, animals, trees, loud sounds like thunder, hitting of the door, slamming of the door. You start to get scared of people that you were familiar with, your family members. You start to get scared of aeroplanes, of being in the crowd and all that. So the next is panic attacks. I spoke about panic attacks, like most times it's always having phobias, but you get to like see something like shaking, diarrhea, you get hyper, fearing for no reason, you know, you get to like your hands can be shaking, you can even start vomiting. So sometimes it can have many similarities, anxiety attacks, but there are very big difference between both. Yes, there's a very big difference, but they are very similar. Most people that have psychosis or mental disorders will actually have it, and this is bloodline personality disorder. Most people that have autism have this also, but that doesn't really mean that every child with autism will have it. It's actually a mental disorder and related to psychosis, and is something to really talk about. Next is the post-traumatic stress disorder. It can affect your sleep, it can affect your dreams, giving you nightmare. It can make you irritated, it can give you depression and numbness. you know you can even start to vomit, or you can even make that person go and start taking hard substances just to get okay and get off the stress. So I spoke about it earlier though. So next is conversion disorder. Conversion disorder is really, really similar to post-traumatic stress, but the difference is that you will have things like dissociative or disconnection from people. You can have your thought can be altered, and your behavior, and you can have things that is very close to neurosis, and maybe the way you shake and do all that. So this is postpartum psychosis. The video is very fast, so it's making me skip a lot of things I want to say. I talk about postpartum psychosis too in my video, so you can learn more about some of these things in the video. This is schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is very available. people that have postpartum psychosis. Actually, there's not how you have psychosis that you might not experience little bit of schizophrenia. Even children with neurosis or adults with neurosis can also have it, whereby you got to fear, you start to have delusions, you start to hear voices, you start to like, it alter your speech, your behavior, it disorganizes your thoughts, you know, the way you think. And some people can really look scary at this time. So just write up some story on your head and you believe, like, you can affect your memory, can give you a blood effect. You start hearing voices, you start getting scared, you start feeling as if you are being controlled by something, especially within you. It's so scary. Like, it's not really a good place to be. Some people with dementia can have it also. Most people with different kind of psychosis may experience it, you know. Yes. And it can even lead people to want to, you know, to kill themselves because of these things that are ununderstandable, so that is not self-explanatory to those people that have it. They are extremely confused. So just like I said, schizophrenia in psychosis, you might have things like trouble thinking, withdrawal from social settings, you know, unable to process your thoughts, hallucinations, and dilutions. There are a lot of similarities between schizophrenia and psychosis, because psychosis is a general term for all mental illnesses. So, and schizophrenia is part of it. So now psychosis slash or versus neurosis. I said earlier that psychosis is the mental disorder that you have when, after you've been given birth to, like maybe as you grow, as you age, or you had some experiences like giving birth to a child, after giving birth, or you are getting old, or you had like a brain injury and all that. But neurosis is what happened within the fetus while still in the mother's womb, and you know it comes with you when you they give birth to the person. It's not something that you can develop. So this is the next, bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder too is mostly present in either psychosis or neurosis, and it can affect your mood. If you can just switch from being depressed to being so maniac, so it's being jovial, so suddenly you get depressed, and there's no people cannot point to what actually is causing the changes in the mood. And I've attributed all this to the food that we consume, you know, because most people don't understand that at the end result of anaerobic respiration, which is glycosis, and ethanol is being produced, which is your alcohol. So it can actually give you almost the same effect, maybe not much, but almost the same effect with you taking some drugs or alcohol or things like that. So giving you all these things at the end of the day, making you, so by the time the effect is drawn, you start to face the depressive side of the bipolar disorder, or the negative side of the mental illnesses. And when you take those things, it gives you that maniac part, and you start having delusions, you know, happy, being happy, you know, getting fleet of ideas and all that. So the next one is kleptomaniac. This kleptomaniac is the state whereby somebody is having so much urge to steal the things that they don't need. You can imagine all these things in the video, in the picture. There's nothing that is so important there, but the person is taking it. She's even putting it in a bag and carrying it behind her. So what the brain might be telling her is that, oh, the brain will try to convince her how useful that particular thing that is unuseful or that she does not need is, and what she can use it to do. And sometimes they have memory problems, and they might even have forgotten eventually, but they will still take it. Some people might not even remember that they did, but they will take it. So it's far different from stealing. Is a mental illness, and it's a very serious one. A lot of people have it, and they get affected by these things too. You know, you just keep it, and you will be so surprised on how important they will treat that thing, that it might be very useless. Like stealing a particular food that we eat that can improve your mood, can improve your libido. When you consume this food, it can affect your sexuality, your urge, and make you sex addicted.